going to be in the chat yet. Going back to Jesse Lee.
He's already recovering. It's good.
Financially or ideologically motivated non-state actors are becoming more bold, with ransomware groups shifting to faster, high-volume attacks that are harder to identify and mitigate.
Yeah, Dehydrate, I think that's a plan.
Innovation in the field of artificial intelligence will likely accelerate these threats in the cyber domain. The IC assesses that it will increasingly shape cyber operations, with both cyber operators and defenders using these tools to improve their speed and effectiveness. For example, in August of 2025, cyber actors used an AI tool to conduct a data extortion operation against international government, healthcare, and public health emergency service sectors, as well as religious institutions.
We are now MDG.
Moving to the Arctic, the IC assesses that Russia, and to a lesser extent China,
we watch MDG
their
every
presence
day.
in the region through
At least once a day we're watching them.
Natural resource extraction and military activity. Russia, which has the longest coastline in the Arctic, has long sought
We should
recognition
watch MDG,
great power
Arturo,
status, and is deploying more military
Climatic.
forces and building new permanent infrastructure.
Who else are our daily
China,
watchers?
though not an Arctic country, is engaged in more limited efforts in the region to advance its own
Like
strategic
MDGs are like
economic
daily, like when we wake up. Usually put him on the screen. Sometimes before bed too,
The
because he
IC
streams early.
assesses that China is the most capable competitor in the field of artificial intelligence.
I think because he's like, he
The IC
smokes and
assesses
stuff
that
too.
AI
We relate a
capabilities are
lot to
rapidly
MDG.
advancing and changing the threat
He
landscape.
does the same stuff we
As
do.
this is a defining technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human learning comprehension, problem solving, creativity, and autonomy. It will be critical to ensure that humans remain in control of how AI is used and of the machines that may threaten to autonomously violate the interests of the American people across all domains.
Rumble's bugged and it's
AI
not showing
adoption
in
at
chat, so I
scale
don't know what
across
fuck's
the
happening over
spectrum
there,
of
guys.
usage poses serious risks.
Yeah,
AI
I always
has
had
the
issues
potential
with
to aid
Rumble
in
posting
weapons and
videos. That's
systems
why I didn't
design
use it.
and
And then I
has
would
been
click
used
to
in
check
recent
my video and it would like show
to
me an
influence
ad and
targeting
I'd have to
and
wait for an
streamline
ad to go
decision-making,
by.
underscoring the risks
never
and
used
likely
them.
threats that could
Like
manifest
if there were no
on the
ads
battlefield.
messing with me, I'd post videos.
Early developers in the quantum computers will give countries an extraordinary technological advantage over others to quickly process national security information and break current encryption methodology used to protect sensitive finance, healthcare, and government information.
He's making
everything's going towards quantum.
The global
now.
security
Quantum
landscape
is
volatile.
How you doing,
and
Carla?
complex, with armed conflict
Good
growing
morning.
more common and
Hey, good
posing
morning.
potential threats against U.S. interests. Strategic competition and regional and smaller powers are becoming more willing to use force to pursue their interests, heightening the risk of conflict. The IC assesses the space domain is becoming increasingly contested, with China and Russia developing counter-space capabilities to challenge U.S. space efforts.
And haven't we made
The
space
threat of
weapons?
nuclear proliferation and advancing chemical and biological
I
warfare
see Polish in
capabilities
MDG's
continues
chat.
to grow.
We always see the same
I'll
people.
turn now
That's
to
why
our
it's
neighborhood
funny.
in the
Polish,
Western
come
Hemisphere,
back.
Because
where
we get in
flagging
the chats
economies,
too
high
with
crime rates,
MDG.
pervasive
told
organized
Polish
crime,
dude.
migration flows, corruption,
I got MDG.
narcotics trafficking.
You can watch
All
both
of
of
these
us.
present a spectrum of risks to U.S. interests,
you were
and where
going to bed,
strategic
but now you don't
competitors seek to gain
I always want to
greater
go to bed
influence
too,
in
and
the
then
region.
yeah.
The IC
Yeah, the other
assesses
night
that
we
Latin
got in
America, Caribbean
MDG's
almost
chat and then
certainly will
Spider
see
Mike was in it,
hotspots
so it was like another 20 minutes
volatility
of watching.
in
I was
the
like, I
coming
gotta
year.
go to bed.
No.
Since Maduro's arrest, the IC assesses
Jumping
a
in
shift
DG's
in
chat.
Venezuela's
Come back,
leadership towards cooperating with the U.S. to open its economy.
Yeah, that's how I
Developing
get. He was gonna go to bed, but now you don't want to.
oil and gas extraction capability.
Exactly what happened because I like
and
got
we've
in his
seen
chat. I was
their
like,
movement
happy
in releasing political
Clover Day.
prisoners. The
And
U.S.-Mexico
he was
Canada
showing Joe
Agreement
Ken
review in
talking about
2026 will
And
likely
Spider Mike's
increase
complaining and they're
uncertainty in
calling
many Latin
everybody
American
PDFs.
countries, especially those that rely on Mexico as an export destination for intermediate goods for manufacture and onward export to the U.S. China,
Yeah, I got to
Russia,
get
and
into the
Iran
chats. Danny
are
always
likely
gets in the
seeking to
chats,
sustain
and then I
economic,
forget, and then I hear
political,
him in
and
the chat. I'm
military
like, I got to
engagement
get in
We're
the
going to war with
chat.
China.
America.
I've just been
The
in
IC
YouTube
assesses that
chats
China's
for
demand for raw
years.
materials is
Yeah,
likely
I haven't really
to
been big
continue
into
to drive
YouTube in
its
the past
economic
since like the
outreach,
past month.
while
I've been
Russia
trying to get
likely
in the
wants to
chat
expand
more.
its current security and diplomatic ties with Cuba and Nicaragua. The IC assesses that China
I do like
aims to
watching
elevate its
everything
own political,
he
economic,
posts,
military,
or
and
at least everything
technological
he
power
watches.
to
I like
increase its own
watching.
regional positioning, and global influence to fend off threats to their interests.
He's like the only big streamer that came down
While there
there.
are challenging
Like
areas
none of the other
where
like
interests
Climatics
diverge,
or Arturo,
President
none of
Trump's
them have come down.
diplomatic
He
engagements
came
with
to Portland.
President
That was
Xi
cool.
to work towards U.S.
And then of
interests
course
have
Travis
enabled
Jur
progress
starts
where
messing
those
with him because he
interests
came
align.
down there.
The IC assesses that China continues to rapidly modernize
That's why like we relate
military
on a lot of that
forces across
stuff
all
because he was in
domains
that.
in
And he
pursuit of
played
its
our
goal
he played our
to
when we
achieve
were at that
world-class
school
status
too.
by mid-century.
Like when I was live.
This includes
like,
building
people
a
must have
force
told
with
him
the
like we
aim
were being
Oh,
attacked.
yeah,
of deterring
MD.
U.S. and
He was
allied
playing
forces
the
in the
like
region
the Enum Claw
and to achieve their
walkout.
stated objective of developing the
Sees
ability
the
to
giant
seize
lump on
Taiwan
my
by
head.
force if necessary.
What
However, the
happened?
IC assesses that China
Yeah,
likely
that's funny.
prefers to set the conditions
lump
for
on
an
my head
eventual
was funny.
peaceful reunification
Mhm.
with Taiwan
Yeah,
short
is
of
that bad?
conflict. The
Is
IC
a peaceful
assesses that an
reunification
increasingly
bad?
confident North Korean regime remains a source of concern regionally and globally. Its weapons of mass destruction, its conventional military
that's what I think
capabilities,
would be
illicit
the
cyber
best
activities, and
option.
demonstrated willingness to use asymmetric capabilities
Peaceful
poses a
reunification.
threat to U.S.
Not war.
and its allies, particularly South
But-
Korea and Japan.
Kelsey's looking sharp as
North Korea's
usual.
partnership with Russia,
Yeah, to me war
is growing.
means like
and in 2025,
I think
Kim
of
took
war as
steps to
lasting like a
improve
year
ties
or
with
we're already
China,
talking
Like
about
I don't when I
North Korea's
when I
most
hear
important
war, I
trading
don't think a
partner
few
and
months of an
economic
operation.
benefactor.
Like
The
if
IC
we're in there
assesses
for a
that
few
North
months
Korea's
doing
support for
stuff, that's an
Russia in the war against
operation.
Ukraine
If we're in
has
there for
increased
years,
North
that's a
Korea's
war.
capabilities as their forces have gained combat experience in 21st century warfare along with equipment. In 2024, North Korea deployed more than 11,000 troops to Russia to support combat operations in Kursk. Pyongyang continues to
We have
develop and
nearly a
expand its
million
strategic
army.
weapons programs, including missiles that can evade
Like
U.S. and
personnel,
regional
I
missile
think, spanning
defenses.
like National
It is
Reserve,
continuing to work to increase its nuclear warhead
actual active duty
stockpile
military.
and
I think we have
maintains
about a million.
biological and chemical weapons capabilities. Russia retains the capability to selectively challenge U.S. interests globally by military and non-military means.
Yeah, he kind of said
The
he was
IC
worried like
assesses
he
that
might
the
get into
most
a or
dangerous
like he
threat
might get
posed by
mad if somebody
Russia to
says
the
something. But he
US
said he definitely
is the
wants to come
potential
down
of an
next time, like
escalatory
we have like a
spiral in an
Patriot
ongoing
thing.
conflict such
I
as
mean, I
Ukraine,
think, especially
or a new
with Patriot
conflict
weekends,
that
there's
led
a
to
lot
direct
of us that come
hostilities,
down there.
including
Usually they don't
the
really mess
potential
with us,
deployment
you know.
of nuclear weapons.
I mean, the last time Enrique came
The
down,
IC assesses
and he
that
didn't get
Putin
into a
continues
fight.
to
I mean, there was
invest
a
in
little
Russia's
pushing
defense
with some of the
industrial
people, like,
base,
you know,
as well
with
as
the
novel
signs, somebody pushed
capabilities
back.
that may
won't
pose a
have
greater
There was
threat
no
to the
actual
U.S.
fights, like
homeland
fist
and
fights or
forces
anybody
abroad
rolling
than
around. No one
conventional
got
weapons.
arrested.
Russia has
I think they
advanced
know not to
systems,
mess with
hypersonic
too many
missiles,
people.
and undersea capabilities
And we have
designed
enough
to negate U.S.
manpower
military
that if like he
advantage.
wanted to walk down
Moscow
ice,
also
like 10 or
relies
20
on
of
other
us would
tools
walk
to
down
exert
with him, you know,
pressure,
to surround
using
him.
gray
We did
zone
that with
tactics to
Enrique.
further its goals and
Like he
compete
walked
below the
back and
level of
forth,
armed
and like we didn't let
conflict.
people near him.
As we
Russia
all
is
do.
also building an extensive counter space
They're a
capabilities
bunch
to
of wimps
contest
down there
U.S. space
mostly.
dominance. Its development of a nuclear counter space weapon poses the greatest single threat to the world's space architecture. During the past year, the IC assesses that Russia has maintained the upper hand in the war against Ukraine. U.S.-led
Yeah, I think
negotiations between
Climatic could have
Moscow
fun
and
down there
Kiev
too, because everybody
are
knows him. He
ongoing.
knows
Until such
everybody.
an agreement is
He's
met,
done like town
Moscow is
halls with
likely to
everybody. You
continue
know, you
fighting
get
a
like
slow
a
war
nice
of attrition
Airbnb
until
and
they
stuff
view
out
their
there.
objectives have been achieved. In the
Even
Middle East,
even
if
conflict
we
and
went down
instability will
ice, we could
shape
always go down
security,
to ground
political, and
zeros, you know,
economic
and Thomas
dynamics
Sounds like
in
we're
a
setting up
variety of
war
ways.
for
You know,
Russia
like
and
he
The
doesn't
IC
go down to
assesses
China
that
now.
Operation
You know, you
Epic
just go
Fury
down
is
there and hang
advancing
out.
fundamental change in the region that began with Hamas's
We went
attack
from-
on Israel
Need to find somewhere to
on
do
Yeah, she
October
needs
7,
to touch up her hair
2023,
dye for her
and
white
continued
stripe.
with the
It's,
He wants
$12-day
to be in a
war
hotel.
last
Yeah, the
year,
hotels
resulting
will-
in weakening
The white
Iran
stripe
and
All
that
you
she
can
got
really
from
do is that.
stress,
The IC
combat-related
assesses the
stress.
regime in Iran appears to be
Forgetting the
intact
white
but largely
fades.
degraded
because it's
due to attacks
hair
on its
dye.
leadership and
But it's okay.
military capabilities.
we like
Its
her. She's good.
conventional military power projection capabilities have largely been destroyed,
MGD
leaving
isn't
limited
too
options.
happy
It's
about
clearly
Tulsi.
hair dye.
Iran's strategic
Sounds like-
position has been
like
significantly
It is,
degraded.
Dawson. It is. Last time she
The
was there,
U.S.
she
led
said there
maximum
was
pressure campaign
not.
and snapback of European sanctions
threats.
added
So it
additional
looks
like
peril to
she's
an
not
already
taking
bleak
Jim
Iranian
And look at the
economy,
generals.
resulting
The
in
generals
mass
look scared
protests earlier
shitless.
this
This guy's
year
like,
that Tehran suppressed by
and
killing
this guy's like
thousands of
yeah,
side-eyeing
he's
the
a pro
fucking shit
wrestler.
out of her.
Oh, he could
Even if the
definitely
regime
fight
remains
someone down there,
intact,
but
Say the
the
right
IC
words.
assesses
Yeah.
that
I don't
internal
th- we wouldn't
tensions
let
are
it
likely
happen.
to increase
Is the
as
actual
I mean, even if you
peace
wanted to
deal
fight, there's
actually
no way
just
we'd
these
like
bros?
let him get
The
close enough
generals
to those
who've
people.
been there
Even so,
for
you know?
literally decades.
Like when they
Iran's
came up
defense
to Tommy, I want to
continues
fight
to
Tommy. I
attack
put
U.S.
myself
and allied
in Tommy
interests
so
in the
many
Middle
times.
East.
War 47
The
years
Tommy knows
ago
I do
says
that.
that
that
if
are
a
now
hostile
finally
regime
done that.
survives, it will
and,
likely
like,
seek
act
to
on
begin
their,
a years-long
multiple
effort
times.
to rebuild its military,
Like Tommy
missiles,
gets in
and
their face, they
UAV
start
We
going.
talk
forces.
about the
I mean,
deep
if you
state, but
put
there's
yourself
certain
in
parts of
between
the
Prior
them,
to
deep
the
state we're
operation
not
at
allowed
Big
to
Fury, the
acknowledge
ICSS's
situation, they
response
both
trying
kind of
to
back
recover
up.
from the severe damage
It's like
to
that
its
one
nuclear
night when they kept
going
going
infrastructure
down there,
sustained
you
during
know,
the
because
12-day
they
war.
don't want to
a
seem
couple people
un-American.
go in
Continue to
between
refuse to
people.
comply
They,
with its nuclear
Are the
obligations with the
generals just part of the
IAEA,
deep state too?
refusing them access to key
That dude is
facilities.
47. Yeah, that guy's only
The
30.
ICSSs that
Like, oh,
China,
you
shit.
just got to
Russia,
be in
and
the
North Korea
mindset
see
of
the United
someone's going to
States
yell
as
at
a
you
strategic
tonight, and if they
competitor
do, just back
and
up.
potential
But you know what I
adversary.
mean? There's like
Iran
there's
has long
clearly
viewed
parts
the
of the deep
U.S.
state
as
that's
an
on the right,
adversary and
and
is
it's
engaged in
within
active
our
conflict with the
established
No,
U.S.
yeah, people.
as
We
a
don't
But the
wanna
thing
competitor.
about it
bring
is,
up
if somebody,
because,
These
you know,
we
we
just
don't wanna
countries,
be
the
we have to be near
ICSSs are
climatics at
likely
all
to
Don't wanna
continue
times.
their
be
A few of
selective
us, you know, so
cooperation
if
with
somebody
each
came
other,
up, we'd
which could
IQ
don't want
bolster
to be
their
individually.
finicky
individual
and you don't want to be
capabilities
this, you
and
don't want to be
threats
that,
to
but
U.S.
it's like
Someone takes
interests abroad.
climatics backwards today, and we go
uh,
push
However,
forward with
currently
that.
these
We've done that on
relationships
many times,
are
many
primarily
occasions.
bilateral
but you're not
on
allowed to say
selected
that.
issues and
You're not allowed
depend
to
on
say that.
broader
Rubio, he
circumstances,
got in trouble for
divergent
saying
sovereign
that.
interests, and in
Mike
some
Johnson,
cases,
ooh-wee, no,
concerns
can't be
over
saying
directly
that.
confronting the United
No way.
States.
I've
These
seen
factors, the
videos.
ICSSs are likely to constrain their relationships.
Yeah. We just don't.
Finally,
We just wouldn't want
conflicts
anybody
on the
being
continent of
arrested.
Africa
That's my
are
main
likely to
goal.
persist
Right.
through 2026 due to poor governance,
And
economic
most of those
demands,
people
and
down there
external
won't
support.
challenge anybody. They're not
Tensions
really that.
continue between Ethiopia and Eritrea, which could rapidly
They're really a lot of
accelerate the
talk
conflict.
mostly. There's
It
maybe
already
a couple of them
Contentious
that are
national
confrontational,
elections in
but they're
Somalia could distract the
Eritrea's-
federal government away from
they'd rather pepper
counterterrorism
spray you than
actions
fight
against
you, really.
al-Shabaab, which continues to conduct terror attacks while providing
Like the only
funding
person
and
I've seen really
propaganda
attack is
support
like that
to
one
other
guy that was with
elements of
Pam.
al-Qaeda in Yemen.
Like he tried to fight
The
Shane
civil
and
war in
stuff, and he
Sudan
got
continues
punched in the
even
head a
as
bunch.
external negotiations occur. ISIS in West Africa and the Sahel have increased the intensity of their attacks
yeah,
against
it's
local
trouble.
security forces, expanding their areas of operation and moving closer to cities with the U.S. presence.
We're going to go into Africa now.
The ICSSs that
We're going
African
into
governments
Africa.
will likely use their wealth in critical minerals to seek partnerships that deliver them
We already were in
meaningful benefit.
Africa. Remember?
Well, it
Concurrent
actually would make
conflicts
sense because
and
China's
crises
taking a
across
lot of
the
the minerals
continent
from
will continue
Africa.
to put U.S.
And
citizens
I feel a
at
lot of
risk
this is like
and cause further
semi-proxy war
instability.
with China, trying to like make
In
sure that
closing,
we have the upper
as
hand
leaders of the
on
intelligence
China.
community, we remain
China
committed
has a lot of the
to
minerals
providing
there. They
President
take all
and
the minerals from
policymakers
Africa. They
with
get the
timely,
oil from
unbiased, relevant
Venezuela,
intelligence
Iran.
to inform
And
decision
they
And,
go
making
war.
and to ensure the safety,
It's
security,
a
and freedom
resource
of the
war.
American people.
Resources.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Gabbard. General Adams, Camden, Arkansas is the home of brand new production lines for the Israeli missile defense
40X.
interceptors. Could you please explain how Critical Arrow and Iron Dome systems being built in Camden
He's scooping another one.
So what
are
happens if we
for
just didn't
not
pay for
only
their Iron
Israel's
Dome?
defenses, but the defense of hundreds of
We
thousands?
need-
Yeah, that's what
Iron
Climax
Dome
was saying. He's
troops
like, he
in the
doesn't know
region.
what he would do if he got really mad at one
Chairman
of them.
Cotton,
Oh, right.
thank you for that question.
We
And
wouldn't have as many issues in the Middle East.
I have to say that the Arrow system and the Iron Dome system are critical defensive systems that prevent
It's hard to hold back
adversary
sometimes.
power projection from impacting
Especially if you've
the,
never been around those kind of
the
people.
targets in the friendly areas in Israel. The Arrow system itself is the high altitude, primarily against
Labs everywhere.
MRBMs, and it's proven to
Dude,
be
he's
very,
been
very
messing with that
effective against
dabber for
those,
like 10
systems.
minutes. What is he
Like, how
doing?
much
The
money
Iron
is that?
Dome
He's
is
pissed
more of a
'cause we're going
closer
into
in
full-scale
system,
war.
protecting
Yeah,
against
I don't want
rockets and
war.
things of that nature. But the
War-
combination
war-
of those two with
Not
It's
attacks.
not just
U.S.
war.
Muslims.
You don't need
systems
war.
Both
creates
sides
a
have been
shield
causing these
to
issues for
prevent
thousands of years.
those
It's not a
attacks
one-sided
from
issue over
the
there.
Iranians impacting
really is.
key
If you think
areas
it's
in
one-sided,
in
Like,
areas where
no,
they're
both
protected.
sides fuck up and
Thank you,
fuck
General
around
Adams.
and do shit
I
to
was
each
recently
other
in
all the
Camden
fucking
with
time.
Secretary
I mean,
Hegseth as part of
what
his
happened in
Arsenal
the-
tour.
before
Americans
the-
get fuck out of it,
Our
since
before the
great
Americans
operations
Ayatollah
do great
But
work
we
came
keep
in,
keeping our
it
I
nation
mean,
safe.
we
And
messed
General
with Iran
now, so
before
I
that,
guess
which is
spoken
why there
about
was a
our
regime shift
pressing
in the
need
first
for
in the
more
East, maybe?
cybersecurity
Us
manpower.
Us
meddling in
Part-time
countries
Part-time
did
we'll
cause
see.
a lot of
such as the
We'll see.
Arkansas Air
Maybe
National
it is.
Guard's
Maybe it is only 2-3 days.
223rd Cyberspace Operations
For the
Squadron
air
are a
campaign.
great way to grow the force.
Explaining it,
What
yeah.
recommendations do you have to grow these cyber protection teams and develop more capacity
Like,
for
I don't
local and national missions?
Freaking cat hair, man.
Chairman Cotton, thanks for the question. I
Where's
did hear a
this
little
cat?
bit
Yeah, I've
about
heard
the
him
great
talk
team
about
in,
it on
Arkansas
stream.
there.
Like
I
I've
know
heard him like say a bunch of
855
stuff like
CPT,
that. Like when we
operates
were
from
talking talking to Tommy
formation.
and stuff.
so for us, certainly looking at a number of different initiatives. One, ensure that we can.
I mean, there's people that
share
we
all
talk
of
to
the
that are
relevant
friends. And like, if I went down there and
top
they did
secret
that, I'd just
classified
start throwing blows. I'm like,
information
yeah,
and other
just can't do
indications and
that.
warning that the
Well, he's a little
organizations
loud. You
need.
might want to lower that.
But I will tell you, I'm an advocate for
Just lower it to
an
like,
ability to
like a
establish
third
some
or
sort of
quarter.
joint reserve cyber organization, and so that at Cybercom, we can ensure that those organizations.
It'd just be cool to hang out with
have
Climatics
all
in
of the
person rather than
advanced
just
training
talking to
that
them
they need.
online.
to ensure that those organizations have access to all of the intelligence that they need, and to ensure that we control some level of funding at both Cybercom and NSA that can be used to mobilize those personnel to handle the most difficult
What are you
problems that we're
changing?
faced with.
He's gonna
We're
freeze
gonna
it
be
all
working with
up.
Congress on some of that language and the department. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, General Hartman. As I said opening, we only have this one public hearing a year, even though the committee
Yeah.
hears from
And last
each of
year
you
it
several
sounded way
times
fucking
throughout the
different.
year in classified
Last year,
settings. So we don't
it
often
sounded
have
way
a
different.
chance to tell the American people what great work their intelligence professionals are doing for them. So Director Ratcliffe, could
You
you
used to
take
hit
the
and put him back.
opportunity to maybe join in the
I
meetings
mean,
that
the other
Secretary
screen
Hexet
Iran wasn't
Yeah,
the right, is what they were saying
provided
now.
on a regular
Holy
basis
shit.
over the last couple months.
It just
On
sounds
the
like they're going to
military
change the
aspects of
narrative
both the
and
Maduro
rewrite
Ray
it
and
to whatever they
Operation
want.
Epic
Now,
Fury
I
to
don't know.
explain
We
the CIA's contributions
knows?
to those operations.
Thank you, Senator. You know, last year when I was here, and
Yeah,
in my
Trey Crum, he was trying to
confirmation,
light the
I
fucking
promised
Tesla
you
building
all,
in
and
Patriot
you
Corner
all
on
asked
fire.
for
Yeah.
He was
more aggressive
went out there and
CIA,
apparently got
one that
caught on
was
camera at like
focused
2
on
in the morning.
Yeah,
trying to light
the
building
Tesla
on fire
building caught it on
separate
camera.
times
stealing
with
secrets
a Tesla
to be able
fucking
to
Yeah.
provide our
flamethrower.
policy
Yeah, with the
It was like,
flamethrower
bro,
thrower.
a decisive
Or the not
strategic
flamethrower,
advantage
they
that
called
will
he was
it.
literally,
allow,
yeah,
in
yeah, he got
advance and
extra
contribute
charges because
to
he was
foreign
trying to
policy
light
and
the Tesla
national
dealership on
security
fire.
successes. To the credit of the CIA workforce, the CIA has delivered. Some of those successes
I
have
know,
been very
GT.
public. As you mentioned, Senator, Operation Midnight Hammer, Operation Absolute Resolve, flawless military operations like that are
Can't be down
hostage
there.
to a flawless intelligence picture.
Yeah,
And the
just stay away
CIA,
from it.
as you know,
It's
from classified
not something
briefings,
you're
contributed
into.
in myriad ways
I have
to the
friends that
success of
won't
that.
go down to
But
that
what I
kind
would
of
say
stuff.
to you is those successes are just emblematic of the phenomenal progress and success really by every measure, every
It was one of those ones you
metric,
just
every
buy from
standard
Tesla.
across every national security
It
space.
was, it was one of those
Oh.
cheap
With
ones.
regard
It
to the
wasn't like a
work
real
of the
flamethrower.
CIA.
It was like an oversized butane
Senator,
torch.
you
Yeah,
mentioned some of it in your
basically.
opening.
It's like
Yeah,
gas.
The increase of
the
our
He's so
flamethrower he had
stupid he
was like
couldn't do
oversized
it.
butane
and
Like,
our
shouldn't he be
resources
smart
are
enough to know how to do
25%.
something?
Our FI collection across the board.
You
our
think if you're
foreign
actually
intelligence
spec
collection,
ops or in the military, you'd be able to
up by
pull something like that off?
25%
You know?
Spec
overall, and in
ops.
important categories like China, for instance, up 100%. In areas like tech and AI,
That's a
up
crazy thing to do
45%.
too.
On the counter-narcotics front, our operations up by 70%. And with regard to counterterrorism, those are
Yeah, no, not
classified
a Vietnam
numbers that I'll
flamethrower.
share
Those
with you in
are
the
not
classified
allowed,
portion
but
of this hearing,
The
but they're off
building
the
would have
charts
burned down if
good.
it was that.
The
He
best way I
basically
can
took like a
summarize
torch
it,
to it and was like,
Senator, is I
"Come
had a
on, catch,
32-year veteran
and then realized,
of
no,
the
it's not
agency
going to work.
retired this year, and he said to me,
Flame-resistant things
I
are
hate to go.
flame-resistant.
I don't know if this is the best year that the
Any other
CIA's
good
ever
Jesse
had,
Lee
but it's the best
videos?
year I can ever
I
remember.
didn't look through like all
And I
his
think that
clips.
reflects the
I don't
current
like that.
morale of
I
the,
want
of the
CIA
CIA.
gone.
It's a
Why
workforce
is it
that
the
knows it's doing a
CIA's
great
best
job.
year?
It knows that
I
it's
think we
being
should get rid of a
allowed
lot of the
to
three-letter
do what they
agencies,
signed up
really.
to do, which is provide that decisive strategic advantage.
I mean, have any of
to
them
our
really
country
caught
for
that many
great
terrorists or
successes that
caught
everyone can see.
any
So I thank you
people?
for the opportunity to let
It's like
me,
I said, last
recognize the
administration,
CIA
Trump didn't want
workforce.
anything to do with the
Thank you.
CIA.
At least we can start
Now
getting rid of
it's
the
like
ATF.
CIA,
Address
That
one
would
FBI,
help.
specific
all
threat
these
from
tech
Iran,
companies,
the threat of an intercontinental missile.
all these things seem
which
to
is
be in
really
charge.
just a combination of two technologies, one thrust to get something into space and a reentry vehicle to get it
But hey,
back to Earth.
Ignore it. Yes, special,
Iran has
special
always had a
ops, yeah,
space
very
launch
special ops.
program. Which is
Special. Oh, you
for
posted
the
Mhm.
first part
Yeah,
of the
Spec Ops.
intercontinental
Spec
missile
Ops.
program. I
Real
haven't seen
smart.
any
Well, he
pictures
told
of
Valhalla,
space
"You're not
safely.
Spec Ops.
And second, they have
I ain't
medium-range
Spec
ballistic
Ops.
missiles.
Spec
They
Ops
already
don't
have
act
a
like that."
reentry vehicle. So if you
I gotta
married
redo
those
that
two
video. I keep
technologies
forgetting about
together,
that.
I've heard some
Spec
analysts say
Ops
that
part
Iran could
with
have
They are still
Valhalla.
swamps, Michael. Nothing
functioning
fucking
intercontinental
changed.
missile to threaten the
all the
United
same
States in as
people.
few as 6
All the
months.
same
Would you agree
agents.
with that assessment?
And
Well,
PTSD
wasn't-
you're right
bad.
to be
Not that
concerned
bad
about
when you
Iran's
think
passive,
of
but
when
they're all still
the
there.
ballistic
time is
missiles,
easy.
Senator,
It's still
if
the
We're
same
combat
swamp.
this.
Iran were allowed
It's all
to
still a
develop
swamp.
at
So why is
IBR
Trump happily just
IRBM
sitting in the
range.
No,
swamp
he's
this
saying
time?
his is easy. He has
3,000
PTSD.
kilometers
What did you do in the
away.
What
military?
happened to
Most of
training? The
Europe.
swamp
I didn't know
is
you were in the
still sitting
military.
there.
As you mentioned, we know that Iran is gaining experience in these larger more powerful booster
I wonder
technologies
if the swamp
through
told
its
Trump the real plan, and he
so-called
decided, oh, that
space
actually
launch
sounds a little
vehicle
easier than
program.
draining the swamp.
If
I'll
left
try it.
unimpeded, yes, Senator, they would have the ability
I don't know.
to
Or did he
range
always know
missiles
the real
to
plan?
the continental U.S.
Baton was
It's one of the reasons why
Hmm?
degrading Iran's
Oh yeah, he's
No,
funny
I'm
on
not.
Just League.
production
Although it's not as
capabilities
funny
It's like I
because
said,
he
this
wasn't
isn't
as
the
he wasn't that
Operation Carry
trolled.
is so
You know, 'cause
important to our national security.
He's kind of like
Obviously.
he does like the same type of comedy. Oh, you weren't.
Mr. Chairman,
Right,
Just
Michael?
PTSD.
No, none.
Dr. Gabbard, the whole country knows that you were recently involved in an FBI operation to seize ballots in Fulton County, Georgia. Yet this was despite the fact that the warrant showed no foreign interference or
No,
nexus. Matter of fact,
Tricom,
the
no.
warrant was based
Never served. I never served
entirely on
either.
conspiracy
We actually are not
theories
allowed
that
to
have
talk
already
about the
been
national debt because Thomas
examined
Massey is
and
the only one who
rejected
brings it up.
Dude, the national
And Trump
debt's great. It's like
disowned it.
28 trillion right now.
So,
Wait,
no,
no,
we
38
actually
trillion.
are not allowed to bring up the national
than a
debt.
domestic
That's
law
big
enforcement
no-no.
activity.
Yeah,
Might get ostracized from the party
Thank you,
for doing
Vice
that.
Chairman. I
But
appreciate
I
the
guess I
question.
had PTSD
know
after that
I've
hit. I
addressed,
wasn't
every
realizing
issue
it.
you've raised in detail in a
Like,
letter,
why
but
am I
I'm
so
grateful for the
freaked out
opportunity
over
to do it in this
kids and
forum.
bullhorns now?
As you stated, Congress provided by statute, ODNI, with the responsibility of election security and counterintelligence in 2021. As you also know,
Oh yeah,
ODNI
PTSD
has
from
purview
you
over
almost died in the
No,
crash.
it's the same
Could
one.
you
just-
Speed wreck on a track.
Same swamp,
ODNI
same
Crazy.
officers,
also
it's just the swamp creatures are
has
now
purview and overview
not
over
Track racing?
two
after by Trump
domestic
nearly as much,
related
it seems
agencies,
like.
the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, both of which have purview over election security
Not nearly the
responsibilities
same
to ensure the
amount,
integrity
same
of our
ones?
elections. I want to correct one of your statements that you've made multiple times, which is false.
Exactly, Callie.
I did not participate in a law enforcement activity, nor would
Uh,
I, because that
she
does
I
not
do
was
exist
there.
in my
accept trains
authorities.
as norm.
I
You
was
were
at
present on the
Fulton-
scene.
I was
Are the
at
photos
Fulton
of you
I
on the
was-
scene?
I
Yeah,
was
so
at
she wasn't
Fulton County,
overseeing
sir,
it. She wasn't a
at
part of
the
it, but she was
request of the
there.
president,
Pretty good.
and to work with the FBI to observe this action that had long been awaited.
I mean, I
was
agree
not
with her
aware of what
observing
was
it,
in
but
the
yeah,
warrants
Guess
or
we
was
see
not in the
where
What was the
Tulsi
warrants.
president's
stands on
specific
this
request?
thing.
Thank you to
What was
the
the specific
FBI
request that
agents for
was
their
made by
work.
the president for you to show up in Fulton County?
To go and observe the FBI's activities
observe.
on this
To
issue.
make sure the
So
FBI
why-
wasn't
why-
Look
fucking
at the
corrupt.
fort-
Do you
your
have the
question,
answer?
sir.
Do you have the answer why the president was knowing about this
question, sir.
affidavit before it was even served?
I'm not aware that the president knew about an affidavit before it was served.
Then why was he sending you to
Super
Fulton
bike
County?
Because we all know the
Whoa.
FBI
This
is
occurred
corrupt.
the day
Was this
that the
her keeping them in
FBI
line,
had
making
it
sure the
approved,
agents aren't gonna
their
get rid of
warrants
Yeah, no worries.
by a local judge, and they
I don't
began to
judge.
execute this.
Yeah,
To address
and
your
her-
question,
her
sir, about the foreign
I'm
Freaking her
stopping
hair.
my typing too. When I'm always in the chat, I'm like, wish I could delete that and redo it. At least you survived, though. It's yeah.
Fair to people to have a voice now. We're not confused. Can walk into any bathroom of choice now. We're not really.
A
in some
confused
states
person,
they
what do you
can.
mean by that?
Oh my
The ones that
god.
don't know if they're a man or a woman, they can now just walk into any bathroom of choice.
Whoa, you
Is
woke up
that
in a bag
fair
with
to
a
people,
tag
to
on your foot?
heterosexual people?
I would actually,
Damn.
I would actually, again, rephrase
So you were
my
flat
question
on
or your
basically?
question. When people are going to the bathroom, they know exactly what they're going to the bathroom
But is
for.
that fair to normal
got
people
something else to
that
do.
a
Like,
man
What do
or
you
a
mean
woman?
normal? What's normal? Well, maybe
Heterosexual.
normal to
Fine,
you, maybe
man.
no different to me.
So let me ask this way.
Oh my
Now that
God.
you're a transgender person, let's say you're walking down the road and you feel like a shower. And here's a shower at Target. You're walking past Target. Here's a shower opportunity for ladies. Would you feel comfortable going into a ladies' shower, taking your clothes off now and getting in a shower with women?
I feel very comfortable being myself anywhere I go.
So when you were a boy, did someone have to tell you that you were a boy, or did you know that on your own?
Pretty much. I
You
mean,
knew on your own?
no, pretty much I was told that I was supposed to, because I was, because I was born with certain genitalia, right? That I was supposed to do certain things as a boy.
And so
Right.
how
You had to
long did
completely
you
learn how to
grow
walk.
as, how old did you become as a boy with
I had
all
a buddy
your
like that. He
body
got into a
parts?
motorcycle.
Well, again,
Barely
I mean, at what
We-
age did you
from it.
switch?
Well,
Yeah,
again, I just want to sort of like give you a
Yeah.
context, right, so that we are able to
He got hit on the
understand,
freeway by a car, by a truck,
we as individuals,
pulled
right,
right
like,
into him.
start developing and how we start forming our own way of thinking.
Right.
However, our parents, right,
Right.
who are obviously the ones who are closest to us and who helps us, shape the way we think and the way we act and all of those things, they are influenced into the same beliefs. These are, again, social constructs that have been formulated.
Okay, I understand that. I understand you're saying that your parents decided whether
Sometimes
you were
things like that'll change you
Pretty
for
much,
the
because
good, you
an
know?
innocent person, an innocent,
But if you were
an innocent
born
young,
if you were born a boy, a
It's
male,
the worst
they
thing
didn't make that decision.
sometimes.
God made that decision because you became a boy inside your mother's womb.
yes.
And so they had nothing to do with that, right?
But what I'm saying is
Am
that
I right about
even,
that, though?
yes, but what I'm
I
saying,
know, but just stay with me on that. I am right that you were formed in your mother's womb where your parents had no decision whether you would be a boy or a girl. Is that
yes.
right?
I mean, anatomically, yes.
Okay, and then you popped out on your birthday and you were a boy. And they're like, wow, we have a son. So they didn't make that decision. God made that decision. Am I right?
I would say yes, nature.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you were growing up as a boy. How old were you
Are you
before
a
you
boy or a
decided,
girl?
I don't like these parts, I'm going to take them off and put on a woman's parts? What age did you
Yeah,
make
it's a blessing
that
for you.
come
Did you
about?
change your life or do something different after?
What I'm trying to explain to you
Just
is,
tell me that age, though.
well, when I started my transition,
At what
right,
age?
I was about 19 years old.
And so what made you decide at 19, I don't like this, I'm going to take off my boy body parts, and I'm going to put on a woman's body part? What made you make that decision at 19?
Okay, so let me just say that I think there needs to be a little more education, right? Because,
Right,
to be
and I wanna understand
a
that.
trans woman in my case, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to
Swollen
remove or that
hormone.
you want to have some certain surgical procedures in order to be who you are,
Right.
right?
No, right. You didn't. When you first realized that when you first realized you
Had a rot pocket.
wanted to be a woman, to remove the body parts wasn't the first thought, right?
Well, again, let me just.
When did you know you felt like a girl and not a boy?
That's what I was trying to explain to you, right? Because this is when you're young, that's sort of like, you're innocent and you simply want to be, right?
Right.
Or innocent.
You sort of like know
You
that
know.
whatever people are telling you is not matching to what you have within your body and what you're supposed to be doing.
Meaning that you had the boy look and the boy body parts, but inwardly you felt like a girl.
Correct.
Correct. And so what did a girl feeling feel like?
Sometimes you think you're bulletproof until something
I am
hits
gonna,
you.
and those expressions or those sort of like behaviors, right, are portrayed in a way that you're attracted to, different things that you're being told to be attracted to. For instance, in most cases, people like who are boys, for instance, they are influenced into playing with cars, with guns, with,
Right.
like where they're supposed to be boy toys, right?
Yes.
But then you as an innocent child, you start sort of like be attracted to other things, right?
Like dolls and things.
Like dolls, specifically.
But did you feel like a girl?
I did.
And what does a girl feeling feel like?
I think obviously a girl, in my opinion, or the way I remember, is obviously having a sense of authenticity, right? But at the same time, want to have that authenticity, but not being able to have it because you are being told
Right.
that that's not you.
That's right. So what I want to know, though, growing up as a little boy,
That's right.
you were feeling on the inside like a girl. You had the feelings of a girl, right? What was those feelings? Can you tell me what that felt like? What did it feel like? What does a girl feeling feel like inside of a boy?
Well, I mean, I think what I'm trying to explain to you is that, oftentimes we get this sense of confusion, right? Because we're feeling a certain way.
What did you feel like?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
like
it's
a
hard to
near-death
describe.
You
experience.
can't describe what you felt like?
I don't think
Like-
so. I don't think
So how
anybody
did
can
you
tell
know
you.
you felt like a girl then if you can't describe what you felt like?
Again, I'm telling you that when you are a young, let's say 4 or 5 years old, right?
Right.
It's kind of
You
cool.
are
You got the
innocent. Your
experience.
mind is
But
not
as you get older though, you turn 7, you turn 12, you
Right.
turn 14.
right.
Will you feel like a girl at 14?
I'm gonna go to Jesse Lee's channel. Oh, I should have just like
Get an
stayed.
Ann Coulter one.
No, that won't be.
Feel like.
I am gonna,
And
those
Coulter is
those
gonna
types of
agree with a
questions,
lot of the
those
stuff Jesse Lee agrees with. I need a scared liberal because they don't like to say stuff. You want to look for like a liberal that's like a sheep that doesn't want to stray from what they talk about.
Thirst trap queen.
I bet this guy. Let's give it a second to load.
Was it like a weird pass?
Oh, this is only 35 seconds. I didn't realize that.
Next time on the Fallen State.
Don't say you care about the people.
There's music.
We need masturbation. Flat Earth. Black women are not queens. Bring back slavery.
What the? That looks interesting. How long is that?
The ShamWow guy.
For Congress in Texas.
Right.
And which district?
31st District. There's like 9 other candidates.
And why should people vote for you?
Because I'm going to bring America back to reality again. Not making people sane, protecting the kids. My
Well, he's
website,
based, but he was like not based.
.com, has
ShamWow
all the
guy.
policies,
Is he based?
I guess.
Weird.
is, systems. Also, social media doesn't have customer service. I mean, I call these guys. They go me. I'm on a wild goose chase for like 3 hours. Links and forms to fill out. I'm like, what is this? You guys are making trillions of dollars. I got to call Joe's Pizza, and he gets customer service. It's like that's one of the things I'm bringing, customer service. You know how you.
Customer service to Congress. No, we were just watching that one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
See, those are the good ones when you have like
segregation. That one. Oh, it's a pastor.
I bet it's hard to get a lot of woke people to come on his show now because they're starting to figure out who he is.
What is a real woman? Feminist?
This is members only.
Yeah. It's got a lot of views.
Like the technical definition, I've never been like, well, does he have balls? What if he loses a ball? He only has one ball. Is he still a man? I'm not really sure. In high school, there was a kid and the ball hit him in the nuts and one popped. Is he still a man? I have no idea. Do you think if a man has one nut, he's still a man? I don't know.
Amazing. Are you done? So let me ask, did you vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
I voted for Kamala.
Why?
I believe that she had more of the vision that I wanted, and also I felt like Trump's first administration, he didn't get a lot done, and it was very like he was more focused on the social issues of being angry about different types of people than he was about actually succeeding in policy. And that's
What was her vision that you had? You said she had the same vision you have, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
I think it was more her views on like equality and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on some of them right now, but
thought so.
Okay. But I feel like Trump's were like a definite no for me, and so I definitely didn't want him in power. And so for me, that's where it was like, well, if I'm choosing between horrible and like not horrible, I would go with the not horrible.
But you said that Kamala Harris had the same vision that you have. What's that?
I think that there's definitely more a focus on equality as a general principle. There's looking at like having policies that are, you know, support like working mothers and support more general, like I said, equality. I'm blanking on like specific policies that I can say right now. But
Nice.
I don't think that Trump cares about equality, and I don't think that Trump cares about people's happiness
And
in
what
general.
is equality?
Equality to me is goes to my principle of like mind your business. Like if someone lives different than you, that's totally fine.
Right.
But they have an equal
Yeah,
level
Santiago,
of
thanks for hanging
power
out.
in our economy and in the law.
But what is equality?
Equality is an equal amount
Have a
of
good
power
night's
and
sleep.
rights under the law.
What does that mean?
So that means that like everyone has an equal right to vote, or everyone has an equal right, you know, if they choose to be LGBTQ, that's okay as well. There's not like, you know,
Yeah.
Trump like repealed that,
Yeah.
so now there's only men and women can be listed on driver's
They-
license and that
Or
kind of
early,
stuff.
however you
I'm
wanna look at
personally
it, I
against.
guess.
That doesn't
Oh,
support my
I see.
values.
So you think that a man in a dress who think that he's a woman, or a woman in pants who think that she's a man, should be able to say on their driver's license that they're or something that they're not?
Yes, I think that they should be able to, if it makes them happy and it doesn't hurt me, power to them.
But isn't that a sign of mental illness?
Not for me. I don't think it is.
And why not?
Because
So a male who think that he's a woman, right? But you know he's not a woman. He really knows he's not. He just thinks he is. Or a woman who thinks she's a man, but you know she's a woman. You wouldn't call that mental illness?
I
Is
call
that
that a
insanity?
choice. That's what makes them happy. If it
It's
makes,
insanity.
I think it's sane
How's that sane?
because that's their choice.
Definitely.
How's that
Thanks,
sane, though?
They
Terry.
can live however they want. If
You're
it's not
right
hurting
about
people,
that.
I don't care.
Right, absolutely. I totally agree. They can live whatever they want, however they want. But why would you call that
Yeah, or at least for
Sane,
a
because
few
it's
yeah,
hours.
why would you call that
Yeah.
sane?
It's a rational choice.
Get some rest too.
What do you mean by that?
They said, you know what? I'm actually happier wearing a dress, and so I'm choosing to wear a dress.
But would you in your mind say that's a real woman?
I don't know what a real woman is. I see that's
You
where
don't
it's
know
like
what a real woman is?
I'm fine with them choosing whatever they want. It's not hurting me.
Right. I understand you're right about that. They can do what they want.
You never
So I
know
don't
what a
want to
woman
put a
is.
label on them.
But
That's
what
their
is
choice.
a real woman?
I have no idea. What do you think a real woman
You
is?
don't know what a real woman is?
What's a real woman?
Are you a real woman?
I don't know. What's a real woman?
She doesn't know?
What the?
What's a real woman? Real means not fake, but that's so vague. I don't know what you're asking me.
So I'm asking you this. I'm black and slow, so I made
I'm black and
right now, I
slow.
understand. Are you
Forget.
a real woman?
I hope so.
You're not sure.
I don't know what real woman means.
She's not a
Why not?
biologist,
Well,
so she doesn't
I'm
know.
asking you, what does it mean?
Why is that you don't know what a real woman is?
Because Because what does it mean? I'm asking you for a definition.
So you don't know if you're a real woman or not?
I know that I'm a woman. I don't know what a real woman is. What's a real woman?
So when you see yourself in the mirror,
I'm like, that's a woman.
how do you know that's a woman?
Because I think I'm a woman.
What?
Because I have the body of a woman and I think I'm a woman.
And do you see a real woman in the mirror?
I think so. I see a woman.
Do you see
What's a real woman?
Do you see?
What's a real woman?
Do you see a real woman in the mirror?
What's a real woman?
No, I'm asking you. When you're
No, I'm
looking
asking
at
you to define it.
When you're looking at you in the mirror,
I see a woman. I don't know what a real woman is.
You don't?
What is?
You
I'm asking
don't?
you to define it. What do you define a real
Do
woman
you know
as?
what a fake woman is?
Rock pocket?
What would a fake woman be?
Do you know what a fake woman is?
Does that mean you have fake nails?
What do
if
you
you
mean?
have fake lashes, are you a fake woman?
What do you mean you don't know what a real woman is?
I'm asking you how do you define that?
I don't even. I'm trying to understand your thinking.
I'm trying to understand your thinking.
What
I
do you
can't
mean
if I don't
that
know
you
what
don't
you.
know what a real woman is?
I
What do
know
you
what a
mean by that?
woman is.
Are you? Do you have a degree?
Yeah.
You went to college?
Yeah, I don't have a doctor's degree though.
But when did you stop remembering what a real woman was?
What is it? Can you please?
No, I'm asking you.
In order for me to answer your question, it would be great to have a definition of what's the difference between a woman and a real woman. How do you define those differently?
That's amazing. Are you joking?
I'm asking you a question.
Oh, amazing. Okay. I noticed that, and I'm trying to learn about you teaching me a lot.
Okay.
So you don't know, do most millennial women don't know what a real woman is?
I think if you went up to someone on the street and were like, do you know what a real woman is? They'd be like, you mean a woman? And you're like, no, a real woman. They'd be like, what do you mean a real?
That's what the average millennial woman would say?
Yeah, I think that they'd be like, I know what a woman is, but what's a
Really?
what's that mean?
So when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're not understanding that you're seeing a real woman.
And I say I'm a woman. Do I look at the mirror and say I'm what Jesse defines as a real woman? No, I don't know what that is. That's why I'm asking you for a definition.
If you saw a man who pretended to be a woman, right? And then you see yourself as a woman, which one would you think is real? The man that pretended to be a woman or the woman that is a woman?
I mean, looking at how they look, I probably think the woman that is a woman. But if the man wants to be a woman, if he chooses it, that's his choice.
Right.
I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to let him do
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a man who pretended to be a woman, and you're looking at yourself, a woman, you would think which is real.
I would think I would be the real one.
And why?
I think it was down.
Because visibly,
I don't think
maybe
it's
he's
on
not
there.
good at doing his nails yet.
Yes. Oh,
I
eggs
bet
is
you
down.
So let me ask, I noticed that millennial women are jealous of men today.
It's
Why is
starting
that?
my
I don't think millennial women are jealous of men today.
Is they not jealous why they want to be like
Yeah,
men or be equal to men?
I don't think that they want to be like men. They want to have the same amount of choices as men.
Put a
Mean
pause
what?
on eggs.
They want to be able to work in the workplace. They want to be able to make choices about their bodies. They want to not be judged how they look. There are a lot of things that men have that women don't, and I think women want, again, going back to the equality, they want the same things. That doesn't mean that they want to be a man. They want the same choices as men.
They want to be able to go to work.
Mhm.
They want to be able to plow mule,
Plow mule.
Do what? Sorry, I don't understand what you said.
pick
Plow.
cotton.
Pig cotton, yep.
I don't think anyone wants to pick cotton. I think if you're
People
picking
love
cotton,
to
you're
pick
forced to pick
cotton.
cotton.
What's she talking about?
So they want what men want.
They want the same choices as men. Opportunities. They want the same opportunities as
But
men.
why would that why are they jealous of men though? They want to be equal to men. Why are they why are they comparing themselves to a man? Why can't they just be a woman, go to work,
Be a woman.
whatever, without comparing themselves to a man?
I think that they want to be able to go to work and not have like worry about, oh, do my nails look good? Oh, is there discrimination happening? They want to be able to go to work and be like, I just want to do my job.
So if they don't want to discriminate, why do they discriminate against men?
How do they discriminate against men?
By comparing themselves to men, always complaining about men, falsely accusing men and things like that?
I think that there's a lot less false accusation happening than like non-reported rape cases. There's a lot of studies on that.
What?
So
Even that is made up. Women are not being raped by men in the manner they pretend that they are. They did a study recently on the college women, and so many of them are lying and saying that they're raped when they're really not being raped. Why is it so easy for women to lie that whenever they want to hurt the man, they can easily lie
I don't
and say
think
they've
that's
been
true.
raped, they've been beat, they've been this and that? Why is that so easy for the woman?
I don't think that's true, and it's really sad that men would rather focus, like, I think rape is the issue, and I would hope that men are anti-rape.
American
Are you
Rising.
anti-rape?
Posted school walkout video.
Men,
Do you think that men should be able to rape women?
Look, I was like,
men are not raping women. Women are lying about it.
They posted
No
one of the videos
man
before, though. I remember they
now is
retweeted
raping
one of
women.
mine.
Zero
Oh, I think it
man
was a
ever.
Travis
I'm
Trier
sure
one,
you
actually.
can find it somewhere. But more women are raping men than
that's why I
women
want
are
to get better at
raping women.
videos. I want to do
I don't
shows
think
like
that's
that
true. No, it's true.
eventually.
There's you believe
I
that
know it to be
more
true.
women are raping men than men are raping women.
Absolutely.
Too.
Interesting. I don't think that's true
Why don't you think that's true?
because there's like a ton of studies and things like that that say otherwise.
No. There are more proof now that women are. Oh, let me ask this because of time. I noticed that women love to take the men's children away from them. They go to court, go to divorce situation, and they lie, say, oh, he beat me, he raped me. They make up lies so that they can
Make 'em
take the
lie.
man's children away from him. Why do women have so much hatred in their heart that they are willing to destroy
Must
the
have talked
children
to a lot of
to
couples
get back at the
where
man?
that happened.
I don't think that's
Marriage counseling.
true in all cases.
I said most cases.
I think the court, if you think that the court is making the wrong choice, then the problem is the court.
No, I'm asking you, why are these women so hateful toward men, that they're willing to destroy the children of the men to make the men hurt? Why is that?
I don't think that's happening en masse. It might happen here and there, but
No,
I
it
don't
happens
think.
every day, all the time.
I don't think that's true.
But it is. I'm telling you, it is.
Well, I disagree.
But let me ask: are you a feminist?
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be a feminist?
For me, being a feminist means believing in equality between men and women. That goes back to what we've been talking about: equality, equal. between the
Amazing.
two. Yeah.
I tell men, I recommend to men that they should date for 7 years before they, and then get married and then have sex. That way,
Jeez, 7
women are
years.
so cunning at hiding who they really are. And when the man marries her, all hell comes out of her, right? Am I
That
wrong?
sounds horrible. Have you had some bad marriages? It sounds like some bad things have happened to you.
Am I wrong in suggesting that the men or not? Because women are really, because they're so cunning, they can hide their true self.
I would
Am I wrong for suggesting 7 years?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's like a very bizarre way of looking at marriage that like magically after 7 years, a woman suddenly can't hide that she's a horrible person. I've never heard of like 7 as like
5 years.
I would suggest if
Just
you think that women are trying to hide who they are and manipulate you, like it's going to be really hard to have a healthy marriage because you already assume the worst of the person that you're trying to court. And if you think the person that you're trying to have a relationship with is a terrible person, it's going to be really hard to build a good, loving marriage between the two people.
I noticed that millennial women love to fight men. They attack them physically, and then the men don't attack back. Should a man, if the man is defending himself from this woman, should he attack her back when she attacked him physically?
I have not heard that millennial women attack more than men. I've never heard that. I think self-defense is an important thing, but if someone attacks you, usually a lot of like abuse cases, they do something small and then it escalates. The moment one person attacks the other person, relationship over.
Right.
Neither person should be that horrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when a woman does attack a man physically, should he defend himself by attacking her back?
I don't think he should attack her, but he should defend himself.
but should he smack her? When she smacked him, should he smack her back?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone
Why
should be
not?
smacked. I don't think anyone should smack anyone.
I understand that, but what I'm asking is that because it does happen a lot, when women smack men, should they smack them back?
I don't think either person should be smacking each
I
other.
know
I'm
that's
against
not the
both.
question. I am too.
I'm
I
against
know
both.
it's not the
Women
question.
do that to men. Should the men
Senate confirmation hearing for
He
DHS
should defend
secretary
himself
right now.
and get out of that situation.
by smacking her back?
Is that the
I don't
same
know
one
if
that
smacking her back is
can
the
be
best way to
used?
defend himself.
If a woman knows that the man gonna smack her back,
So long.
is she less likely to smack him or more likely?
No, this is just DHS.
I mean, probably
He was
less
streaming
likely, but
Tulsi's,
I don't think having everyone scared that someone else is
war
going to smack them
briefing
is
or
the best way
whatever.
to handle these kind of problems. Probably like therapy or like
Sit
working on yourself or like
down.
going to anger management to be like, why am I
Those
smacking
aren't
people?
loading.
It's not normal for people to smack other people. No one should be smacking each other. Do you think it's normal for people to smack each other?
No, I'm telling you,
No.
no, people should fight one another.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
100%. I am aligned on that.
But these women are out of control now that they're doing a lot to men because men have been told not to smack them back. What I'm saying is,
none of my
if men
friends
start
smack men.
smacking these women
Just
back,
loaded.
Yeah, none
are
of
the
my
women less likely or more likely to smack them?
None of my millennial friends are smacking men. And if my
Good.
friend was
Good.
smacking a man, I'd be like, why are you smacking him? Or if a man was smacking my friend, I'd be like, for both of you, relationship over. Done.
But should he smack them back if she should smack him first?
No, he should defend himself.
But smacking back is defending yourself.
That sounds like an attack. That sounds offensive versus
But isn't the
defensive.
woman attacking him?
Right now.
Well, she shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying.
But when she does,
He should be
attack
defensive.
her back?
No.
Why not?
He should defend himself and remove himself from the situation.
What the?
All right. If anybody's still in here, thanks for hanging out. See you guys later. Peace out. Big screen.